Hi there. Presenting your research at an STFM conference is one of the best ways to share your work, network, and learn about cutting-edge developments in family medicine. Here are some tips from your research committee for how to get your next abstract accepted. Tip number 1. Follow instructions. We routinely reject abstracts because the submitter did not follow the instructions. Example A. Not all of the required sections were included. Example B. The abstract did not describe a research project, but rather the implementation of a curriculum or a case presentation. Tip number 2. Be specific. In order to assess your work, we need to know what was done. We suggest using the who, what, where, when, why framework. Who are the people you are trying to impact and how many participants did you recruit? What did you investigate? What is your research question? What was your intervention? What were the outcomes and how did you assess them? When appropriate, what statistical tests did you use? When did you do the intervention and for how long? Where did the intervention take place? And why did you choose this intervention? What problem were you addressing? In the abstract instructions, we list the specific methodological information to include. Tip number 3. Include a comparison group whenever possible. For example, consider including participants who were not exposed to the intervention, including those either at your institution or at another institution. When you only study those receiving the intervention, you don't know if differences were due to random chance, differences over time, confounding factors, or your intervention. This tip may not apply to qualitative studies. Tip number 4. Maximize your sample size. Team up with other residencies, or use data from multiple years. Tip number 5. Make sure your findings justify your conclusions. It's hard to generalize findings from small projects without control groups, so try not to overstate your findings. These projects, however, can demonstrate feasibility and acceptability. Tip number 6. Have someone else read your abstract. Just because your abstract makes sense to you does not mean that it will make sense to others. Even the most experienced researchers depend on colleagues for editing and feedback. Tip number 7. Ask us questions if you are still confused. The research committee's emails are all listed on the STFM website. Remember, we're here to help.